And we're back.
This is all-purpose things, mamas. What we put in there?
I put what did I put? There is basil in there and some other stuff. Hi, welcome to our live. This is AVU Kitchen, and we're doing another Sunday dinner special. All right. So this week, as you can see from the title, we're doing quinoa, and we're also doing a brown stew chickpea medley. Right. So there's chickpeas, there's chickpea tofu, but just feel free to get creative with it. So you don't have to be limited. You don't have to use any chickpea tofu. You can use just chickpeas. You can use any other beans. You can just do a brown stew vegetable, whatever, So just get creative with it. And as I said, from last week, we were asking you guys, what should we cook next week? And of course, you've said quinoa. So there's quinoa here this week. All right. So before we get started, we are here to teach you how to cook stuff, but we're also here to educate you about health stuff. Nice. I'm happy that you're ready. All right. So one of the things that we noticed when we were in the supermarket recently, we were looking for stuff, but we were looking for browning, or we looked at the browning while we were passing. And my wife looked at the label, and browning contains caramel. And so when we looked up what caramel is, because we were like, oh, it's just like a few things, just caramel, and what else was there? Just
caramel. I think there was vinegar.
You're right, and that's like maybe 3 things.
Sugar, yeah.
So we were like, oh well, if it contains just 3 things, that means it can't be that bad then. And we never see any preservatives or nothing. But then when we look up what caramel is, it was bad. Basically, caramel is dairy based. We avoid dairy as vegans. And so that's all we needed to see when we looked that up. So we avoided that. And just wanted to speak to the importance of always checking labels, guys. Knowing what's in your food. I mean, preservatives, for one, are harmful. When we were checking we were trying to get started with business, we checked the Bureau of Standards and asked them if they can recommend, because we're doing some research on preservatives. We asked them to recommend some preservatives for us that weren't carcinogenic. And they basically told us that they can't name any. So think about that. You look up all the preservatives that there are, they are linked to cancer. So that's very interesting to note. And there's hardly anything in the supermarket that doesn't have preservatives in there. So let's bear that in mind. The next thing, so the quinoa that we're cooking.
And to add to that, anything that you don't know, use the internet.
Right, the internet is there. So anything you don't know, just use the internet. There's no excuse. Just go look it up. Like whenever we're in the supermarket, we see like, for one, if we see a long list of ingredients, we not buy it. No. But if there's ingredients and we don't know what it is, then we'll just go ahead and
do a quick
Google
search.
it, check it out, and see what it is and see what it does. It's our body. We are the ones who, even though people are making our food, we don't know what their motives are. I mean, some of them is just money. They're no business about people's health. So as long as the price is right, they'll put it in the food. So just check it out and protect yourself. Just it's your temple. So you look at what you're putting into it. Yeah, so quinoa. As I said, we're doing quinoa today, and quinoa will be the center of the meal. I mean, brown stew, whatever. Chickpea medley it's nice, but a lot of people don't know how to cook quinoa, and quinoa is very nice. Like when they taste the quinoa that we cook, they're like, "Hey, this tastes really good. How you cook it?" So we decided to show you guys. And I've talked about quinoa. Quinoa is a seed. So it's not actually a grain, but we cook it like a grain because it's, it can be cooked like that. And it's very versatile. So all the things you can do with rice, you can do with quinoa and maybe more, But quinoa is a complete protein. It contains complete protein means it contains all the essential amino acids. Those are amino acids that you have to get from your diet. Quinoa contains all of them. So it's a grain. It's not a grain. It's a seed, and it's a complete protein. Now, so here's our pot with the quinoa. You can just come over it. And I've already gone ahead and added the stuff to it. So of course, after the video, Of course, after the video, we'll be doing, we'll post the video to our page, and we'll have ingredient amounts and so on. Of course, we'll be posting it to YouTube as well. So the quinoa is in the pot. I put some coconut milk with it. Scallion, thyme. There is the scotch bonnet pepper, and you can see some pimento seeds and so on. I also put some of our all-purpose seasoning in there. This is all-purpose seasoning. We made this, so there's no chemicals or nothing like that in our stuff. And of course, there's pink salt. I also put coriander powder in there, and I put a little bit of ground pimento in there as well. All right. So what you want to do when you're cooking quinoa, oh wait, sorry, there's also vegan butter in there, and we made this butter too.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's some garlic cloves. So what you want to do when you're cooking quinoa, guys, is you just want to get the liquid just a little bit above it. So it's not really like with rice. You want to maybe 1 cup of the stuff and then a cup and a half of water. No, whatever pot you're cooking it in, you just want to make sure the water is covering it. All right. And then once it starts to boil, so you cook it uncovered first on high heat. Once it starts to boil, so kind of like rice, you'll cover it up. But what I like to do is I like to wait until the water is just right at the surface, just a little bit above it. Then I cover it up and make it steam. And so based on how fluffy you want the quinoa, or how dry, not dry like uncooked, but dry, not as fluffy, you would of course adjust the water content. Alright, so again, if some of you may not have seen quinoa, so let me just show you. That's what quinoa looks like right here. So there's some very tiny stuff, and those are seeds. As I say, when they finish, the taste amazing. And I'll be putting plantain bits into it as well. So my mom used to cook rice, and when she cook rice, she put plantain. The first time I saw someone do that, she just throw some chunks of plantain in there, and it was really amazing. So what I'll do is once it starts to boil up, I'll throw the plantain in there, and then it will steam with the plantain, and the plantain will cook, and it will be lovely. So I'm gonna put it on the fire, on the stove, and as I said, I'm putting it on high heat. So that's the quinoa there, and I won't do anything else to this until it starts to boil up. Alright, so for the brown stew, is a whole host of elaborate ingredients here. So first off, we have carrots, as you can see, tomatoes, some red onions. Prefer the red onions because, I love all onions, but the red onion is nice because it's not as, what's the taste? It's sweeter than the other one, not as harsh as it. There is, what's this called again?
Thyme.
Thyme, yes. Can't believe I know more thyme. There's sweet pepper. There is pepper, scotch bonnet pepper. There is, and they call it sweet pepper bell pepper in other circles. So if you ever hear someone say bell pepper, There is scallion greens and the whites, so that's scallion, And some people call it spring onion. And then there is, I said tomato already. There's tomato, right? Yeah. All right, and then there is, so let me just go here. There is some butter, vegan butter again. Then there is a ketchup mix. So we make the ketchup again for ourselves. So it's ketchup with some sugar and some water. And then this is coconut milk. So we're using coconut milk. You can use water in yours, guys, but we use coconut milk for more of a richness. And then right here, we didn't buy any browning, so we're making our own browning. If you don't have browning, just some oil and some sugar in the pot, and then together they'll give you that nice dark color. You won't stir it or anything, just let it sit and kind of burn, and then it just get toward that dark color. All right, so that's not coconut sugar. It's actually what's that? Dehydrated cane juice, right? It's a low glycemic sweetener, guys. So you can check that out. The sugars that we use are always low glycemic. Like we use maybe coconut sugar. We use agave. So it's always low glycemic. For those who don't know what that is, it just means that people with diabetes can tolerate it. It's not a sugar that's going to drive their sugar levels after a meal through the roof. All right, and then there is garlic powder, onion powder. This is celery powder, and then we have here some ginger, finely chopped, and then there's some finely chopped garlic as well. And then on this plate we have some of our all-purpose seasoning. We also have some chili powder, and then this is some coriander right here. And then of course the chickpeas, The chickpeas is here, and then the chickpea tofu is here, so you can see that. We've already gone ahead and cooked the chickpea tofu, because in the last video we showed you how to cook that. So you can check that out on our YouTube channel, guys, if you haven't seen that as yet. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some oil to the pot. Let me turn on the heat first. Just going to add some oil to the pot. You just want to add enough oil to allow it to brown. Alright, so I added the oil, and I'm just going to throw the sugar into that once the oil is, you know, getting hot. Just want to heat it up a bit. The oil is enough. And you can talk to us while we're doing this, guys. So if you have anything you want to ask, go right ahead. Or say, you can go right ahead. We appreciate it too. How's your day going so far? Alright, so I'm putting the sugar in. And as I say, you don't stir the sugar, you just let the sugar sit. And it will start to burn. And you can see there, it's going to start to burn. And then, of course, as I said, this will be your browning. So I just want to make sure it's evenly distributed throughout the pot. That's it. Alright, so once it starts to burn, you don't want to stir it, you just want it to sit and do its thing.
We used coconut oil. This is our favorite brand.
Smells really nice.
Yes.
Smells like coconuts, guys.
But coconut oil is our preferred oil.
And olive oil.
I guess. Yes, and olive oil.
So it takes a little while. So, you know, I'm just going to be standing here waiting on it to do its thing.
What would you like to tell the people?
What would I like to tell the people? You know, be safe, right? Boost your immune system. Eat more plants. That's the way to go. That's a good way to go. You can't go wrong like that, you know? Alright, so some more stuff is happening still. So, you know, you can see it starting to bubble. So you don't want it to stir it because it interrupt the process. But it will still be done, you know. But then once you stir it, it will, you know, start to stick to the spoon and all kind of things. So you just want to allow it to do its thing, just to burn.
And the heat?
Medium heat is fine. That's medium. That's not the highest setting. Alright, so the quinoa pot has started to bubble. So I'm just gonna go ahead. So it started to bubble. I'm gonna add the plantain to it. Just wanna just distribute it all over it. It's gonna be very nice. Alright.
Nico.
Where can we get that sugar? We got it in Progressive. Yeah.
I was showing you Nico's comment.
Where? Oh, Shane. Move back in a Spain town. Yeah, man, Shane, you know, so we plan to have everything all over the island still. So Spain I see we, man. It's a silly restaurant, isn't it? Yeah, man, but respect for joining the lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's doing more. It's a bit tedious, guys, but it's getting there. Because I say you just want to leave it alone once you start to do this. And the quinoa is bubbling up. So I'm going to put what I do is, so right now I won't cover it now because you can see it has a lot of water content still. So that's why I like to get the water like just down to the top. As I said, if you want it fluffier, like now would be a good time because I said the water is just above it. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more until a bit more is dried out, and then I'll go ahead and put the cover on it, some foil paper on the cover. Now here we go, you can see the sugar doing more, look, see it's getting dark. So this is how old time people used to do them browning, and they're not wrong for that, because as I said, if you check out what is in browning nowadays, it's not good at all. Alright, so it's getting dark, so I want to make sure it's getting dark evenly. might have added a bit too much oil, but that's alright still. Yes, I can stir this because there's a lot of oil. Alright. So it's getting dark, guys. You don't want it to get too black because it will be bitter. So see how quick that changed? Look there, just suddenly. So I'm going to start adding the ingredients to it. So the first thing, I like to add my ingredients one after the other because you allow it to each one to express themselves when you do that. So I know most people so add the garlic to it. I'm going to add the ginger as well. That's the garlic and ginger in. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion. So that's my order of spices. Always garlic and then ginger. So I'm going to add the onion. Look at that. That's so dark. That's my browning, guys. Right, so there we go. Alright. And it's not going to take no time to add the rest of stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in. Alright, so the quinoa can be covered now. So let me shift this from the fire and I'm going to go ahead and turn down the heat to the lowest setting. So I'm just going to turn this down very low. I'm going to put back on the quinoa. And it's just going to sit there and steam. As I said, I have foil paper on the cover. I'm just going to allow it to steam. There we go. Alright, so here we are with back to the brown stew. So I put the what did I call this all? Did I say thyme. Something as a part on thyme? I'm wondering.
No.
Okay. Alright, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put in the spring onion, escallion, as we know it in Jamaica. Right. And the pepper. As I said, I like to put the ingredients in separately. So I don't just lump them in because each ingredient has its own taste, each spice, and you want them to express themselves. Alright.
Charmaine says she can smell it.
Thank you, Charmaine. You need to come by for dinner one day. Alright. And then I'm just going to add the tomatoes. I think I turned that down. So let me turn it back up.
Juicy tomatoes.
So as I said, the ingredient amounts will be in the description once we've uploaded the video. And it will be, we have a YouTube channel as well, guys, a Vegans Utopia. So our recipe videos will be there all the time. Alright. So you can see that's very dark. That's browning right there, guys. Alright, so I'm just gonna add the so there's the all-purpose seasoning here, so I'm gonna add the all-purpose seasoning, the celery powder, and the wait, oh, you know this is paprika. Sorry, I said it was chili powder at the start. It's paprika. My bad. Alright. I'm just gonna stir this. When I'm using salt, guys, I like to add salt like at the end. If I'm adding any salt, I'll add a little bit. At the end, I'll be able to. Why I do that? Because you can't take the salt out of it once you put too much, right? So you want to go ahead and add the salt toward the end when you can, you get the chance. When the meal is almost finished, and you can add the salt and taste as you add. But as you're going along, you don't know how the salt will express, Alright, so that is there. The carrot and the bell pepper will go in last toward the end, Alright, let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in the onion powder, garlic powder. I'm gonna put more seasoning in there once I add the liquid. Alright, there we
go. Belle says it looks goody.
Thank you. Don't taste good to Belle. Trust me. But yeah, man, guys, ingredients, man. Cause my wife and I will like to make a lot of things from scratch because we realize a lot of stuff having some very funky ingredients, very funky. And I've seen this thing saw this thing where they were showing like a lot of it is unnecessary ingredients. So we saw this thing where they were showing food items that were in different countries, and they were comparing the same food items that were in Canada, UK. The UK and in America. And for example, they show like ketchup, right? And you want to see the difference in ingredients. Like the UK ketchup would have like maybe 5 ingredients, and the American ketchup have like 10 ingredients, and the rest are just chemicals.
Yes, Delzy, we always cook with love. That's the first ingredient.
She said it seemed like loving our cooking.
Say whole heap of love in this.
Yeah man, enough cooking, enough love man. Yeah, and so you just have to wonder, because if the ketchup can be made with less ingredients, why put more, right?
More.
So, and again, it's just chemicals, it's not like necessary food items. So there's something definitely funky going on out there, man, you know? Definitely funky. Alright, so I just put the ketchup mix in there, and I'm gonna go ahead. Sound like a real Jamaican chef. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my coconut milk. Okay, so that's the coconut milk in, and I'm gonna allow this to come to a bubble, and then once it's bubbling up, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a taste to make sure that you know, it tastes to the way I want it, and then I'll adjust it a bit if I need to. All right. So let me go ahead and cover it up. Just gonna use a plate. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, guys, questions, don't be afraid to ask. Oh, also, what should we cook next? So go ahead and let us know what you want to see us cook next.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me just go ahead and check on the quinoa. See what's going on with it. I'll say you just want it to have low heat. You don't really want to have to worry about what's happening with it. So let's see. So you can see that, look, the quinoa is steaming. Right? It's full of flavor because of the amount of things I'm putting in this out.
I tell stew.
Alright, cool. I'll do a meatless stew next time around with something else.
Shane is asking what type of powdered seasoning you use.
Alright,
he came in after we mentioned the ingredients.
So me use all-purpose seasoning with milk. But aside from that, me use like salt. This is pink salt. So I've mentioned pink salt before. And pink salt is different from the regular table salt because the pink salt contains like over 80 odd minerals. The regular table salt contains just 3. So because of this, you know, it's just like sodium, chlorine, and something else in the regular one, it causes imbalances. So wherever sodium go, water follow. So that's why you have the high blood pressure. But this one, it contains over 80, and so it doesn't cause that imbalance in sodium. We also use onion powder. There's garlic powder. There's paprika in there as well. And there is some celery powder, right? So those are the seasonings that we use in this one. But as you can see, we have like a whole lot of seasoning now. Spice cabinet. Look at that. It's full of seasoning. Alright, so let me check on this and see what's happening.
1 vote for sweet and sour tofu.
Sweet and sour tofu. Alright, cool. What was that a suggestion before that?
I thought stew.
We're going to cook all of them, guys. So you don't have to worry about that. Everything will get cooked.
Charmaine says bread.
Bread. Interesting, Charmaine.
But
alright, so I just added the vegan butter to this.
And again, the butter is made by us as well.
Yeah, man, we make our own butter. Because butter is a dairy product. And we don't use dairy, so we made our own stuff. And it smells like butter and it tastes like butter. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and taste this. See what it needs. Maybe put some more all-purpose seasoning in there and maybe some celery powder. Yeah man, so I haven't added any salt to it as yet. So I definitely need a little salt now. So let me go ahead and taste that. So the thing about salt, and that's the importance of salt, guys. If you cook without salt, it's food can be very bland, you know. And I mean, if you have high blood pressure, as I said, check out pink salt because pink salt is a salt that people with high blood pressure can take because it doesn't affect it. So when you cook, what I've experienced is that when I add seasonings to food and I don't put any salt, you can't really taste them. But once you add the salt, you taste everything. So the salt is like it unites everything together, you know. So like right now I tasting some stuff, but it's, you know, I can taste that there's no salt. So now that I added the salt, I'm gonna taste it again.
Yes, Charmaine, coconut oil is in the butter along with olive oil, coconut milk, turmeric,
salt, pink salt.
Yeah. What else?
Alright, so I'm gonna add some more all-purpose.
Yeah.
Some more salt. It's getting there, but not quite there. I'll make a whole heap of gravy because my wife loves to eat the brown stew gravy, you know. So, alright. And I'm gonna throw in the onion, the carrots.
Carrots.
I say sweet pepper, because, you know, based on the rate at which you sweet pepper and the carrot cook, you don't necessarily want to throw them in at the same time. You know, you want to the carrots, you don't want them to be too soft, and the sweet pepper is the same thing. So the carrot take longer to cook, so I put the sweet pepper in toward the end. Because the sweet pepper is just like that when you cook. Alright, so I'm gonna let this cook down some more. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask, man. Ask whatever you need, because we're here now, you know. So ask, go ahead. You need to ask before we go lock down. Alright, so let me check back on the quinoa again. And of course, no matter if you like you're limited to just asking us stuff while we're here, I mean, we'll always be answer your questions whenever you ask. So see, look, quinoa is basically finishing up. All I'm doing now is just fluffing it up. So it kind of cook like rice, but not really. You know, as I say, I will include all the amounts of stuff there. But this is very nice. I mean, we did the stir fry as well, and I'll do the stir fry for you guys one of these days. But just this plain quinoa with the seasoning and stuff in there, amazing.
Thank you.
Who said what?
There was the saying I'm doing well with the camera.
Okay. So I'm just gonna give this a taste just to make sure it's up to point. Yeah, man. And the grain them very. Them way they're not too soft, you know. It now have that. It's what you call that again? I don't remember the name. When we used to cook rice, it's not fluffy. There's another word. So it's there. It's there. Trust me. Yeah, man. So it's not too soft or anything like that.
When a Jamaican taste something and they say, yeah, man, say good.
For real. No, man. And the plantain in there is other nice, because everything else in there just give it a nice flavor. Plantain in there just give it a nice sweetness. If you know about cooking, you know, so the importance is in the balance of the different flavor profiles. You know, sweet, you have salty, and so on. And you have bitter, you have acidic, and so on.
Yes, Charmaine, that's true. It's coconut milk you use, right?
Yeah.
In the quinoa? Yeah.
Oh, what she said?
She said it's nice when cooked in coconut milk.
Yeah, man. I mean, Charmaine, we're magicians, you know, so without coconut water, it's still amazing, but the coconut milk is another level for real. Alright. I mean, can brown stew sauce be too much? Cause why is that whole heap of sauce this? And of course, with the so I'm gonna throw the chickpeas in there. Let me just taste it again. Cause the chickpeas are cooked already. So you don't want to put raw chickpeas in there and stuff, because chickpeas take a long time to cook. I mean, if you soak it will cook quicker, but still like at least a half an hour, you know.
Or
this
more.
Sauce, right, or more. And this sauce doesn't take half an hour to make. So you put the chickpeas, the sauce will be at the mercy of the chickpeas. So you want to put the chickpeas first, or at least cook it till it almost finished cooked, and then you can add it to it afterwards. So this is fully cooked, you know, and I don't have a problem with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it. Well, let me a little more seasoning.
I don't like quinoa cooked in plain water.
What was
says
that?
Charmaine.
What she said?
Don't like quinoa cooked in plain water.
Okay. Alright, so that's some more celery powder. So I'm gonna add a little bit of chili powder to it. I would say like spices. We love spices. And then I think some more salt is needed.
Spice of life.
Alright. Man, this thing look amazing. I'm not gonna lie. This look quite good. Got that, man?
It's brown.
Yeah, man. Very nice. Could I tell anybody, trick anybody say actual browning you're putting on this? Nice, man. Look good. Alright, so I'm gonna add the chickpeas to this now. Alright, so there we go. Chickpeas in. And for the chickpea tofu, you don't cook that after you we stir fry it first, as I've said before. But you want to put it in your sauce, like just toss it in there. So you know, after you turn off the pot, you're not gonna put it in there and then cook it down in there. Because you know it's firm, but then you cook it out, it will just mash out, you know. So you just want to toss it in our sauce. That's it. And that's perfect for it. That's why you shallow fry it first. Want a little bit of sugar and some more butter. That's our butter. Can I say that it looks just like butter now? This is what the see it here, dehydrated cane juice. So that is the sugar. It's dehydrated cane juice. And you can see it here, low glycemic sweet now. Right.
Charmaine is asking, what do you think about putting walnuts in the sauce instead of chickpeas?
Walnuts.
She's off chickpeas right now.
Walnuts. Yeah, sure. Because people even use walnuts like meat. You know, like walnut mince. So yeah, of course that will work. As I say, it's a sauce. So you take the sauce and bring it to wherever you want to bring it. You can put anything in there. Because I mean, some veggies. You could have used some come to mind, some pak choy. Like I'd put some pak choy, maybe some cabbage and whatever. Just throw some veggies in there and just make it a veggie brown stew. You know, you can use like even kidney beans. You know, black beans, whatever. It's your show. So you do whatever you want to put in there, put in there. Alright, so this will cook down some more. Quinoa, what's the finish now? Yeah man, that's amazing. It tastes incredible. I mean, it already tastes incredible. So this is the last. I mean, it's basically done. Give it another taste. Yep. Alright, cool. I purposely didn't say yeah man, alright. Never want to, you know, be the cliche again, you see me? No, yeah man. Yeah man, never say yeah man, alright. Cool, let me just take out these thyme sticks. Well, I have to take the thyme out of my stuff before it done, because I mean the flavor of the thyme already cook into the food. And you necessarily want to have thyme sticks while you eat, you know? Kinda annoying. Same thing with quinoa, I put the scallion in there, but before I finish I always take out or once I'm done I always take out the scallion and the thyme out of it as well. Okay. Yeah guys, so if you missed our brunch, we're planning on doing seasonal brunches. So our last brunch was amazing. If you didn't see it, we did a 3-course meal with drinks. So we did appetizers. We did a lentil dal, that's a lentil soup. We also did spring rolls with a dipping sauce. It was a cabbage spring roll with a buffalo mayo dipping sauce. Of course, everything made from scratch by us. We had two main courses to choose from. There was what was that? Hold on. Chickpea tofu tikka masala. There was chickpea tofu tikka masala with what was it?
Naan.
Yeah,
Garlic naan.
Right. And then there was mushroom. What did I
General so mushroom.
Yes, General so mushroom with a stir fry quinoa. And then the desserts were cinnamon rolls with a
cashew drizzle.
There was brownies and there were cheesecake
muffins.
Right. So and then the juices there was it's coconut, jelly, chop it and you drink it and whatever and eat the jelly if you wanted to. And there was pineapple juice that we made from scratch too. So as I said, seasonal. That was a spring brunch. There's 4 seasons. I mean, not really in Jamaica, but there are 4 seasons. And so we plan to do brunch with food appropriate to that, to each one. So you can look out for that as well, guys. We have another brunch coming up. And just lots more great stuff coming up as well. Alright, again, we'll be cooking again next week, Sunday too. So look out for that as well. Alright, so this is going down to a nice level. Man, I'm feeling hungry for this food. Let me take this out. Okay, I turned it off already. So you guys finished voting on what you want to eat already? What you want us to cook next week already? Right, so remember to let us know. And we veganize almost everything, guys, so don't be afraid to get crazy with your ideas. Alright.
Don't forget your sweet peppers.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them in now.
Thank you, Larisha.
What's Larisha saying?
It looks delicious.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so the bell peppers are going in, aka sweet peppers.
Charmaine, so we must do the mushroom and quinoa dish.
Mushroom and quinoa dish. Oh. I love me some mushrooms. Trust me. Spent a while perfecting the mushroom recipe, so our mushrooms are amazing. So that's the whole thing, we get in the kitchen, we like to have fun. There are a lot of stuff. I mean, whatever you get, even people who love eat chicken, for example. Say you eat some chicken that tastes better. So it's really what you put into it you get out.
And don't forget to put in the love.
And don't forget to put in the love. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off now. I'm just gonna mix in the chickpea tofu into it. I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, turn it off. Then I'm gonna mix in the chickpea tofu. That's
cooking
a lot of sauce.
should be fun, Larisha.
What did she say about it?
You guys make cooking look
Yeah,
fun.
man, it should be fun, man. Anytime you find where you really enjoy doing, that is kind of a hint as to what you should be doing with your life. So I love cooking. We love cooking. Alright, cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in. Stir it around so it gets covered with sauce.
Tofu.
There we go. That's chickpea tofu.
Brown stew.
Now look at that.
Browning.
Brown stew chickpea medley. Now doesn't this look amazing, guys? Look at this. Look at this. Oh my lord. This looks this look good, I'm not lie. Look really good. And make sure I do a whole heap of gravy so my wife can't complain. You see me? Watch it. Woo! Alright, so taste test. just gonna get a small plate.
Thank you, Charmaine.
Charmaine's saying.
It looks pretty.
Yeah, look good, man. I'm not telling a lie for myself. Come. So let me get some of the quinoa.
With the plantain.
With the plantain, of course. With the plantain. And some chickpea tofu. So I'll get a little bit of everything in there. Alright. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me wait a little bit. Alright, we'll just cool it right now. Alright. That's the Alright, let's see. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna eat off all of this. I ain't giving her none. I'm joking, man. Come your turn. Blow on it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we'll, as usual, how much time we on?
41 minutes.
Alright, so we'll stay there for 4 more minutes, guys. If you have any questions, wrap up what you want to talk about, we'll talk about it and then we'll go eat. Come on. Oh, yeah. Yep. So what you want to know? What else do you want to know? Of course, as always, we do want to thank you for taking time out of your day. I know everyone is inside, and so we wanted to just help make the day as nice as possible, as that's why I come invite you into our kitchen and have some fun with you guys, Yeah, man. As I said, this will be a every Sunday thing. It's our Sunday dinner, So it's literally our Sunday dinner. You guys, just cook what we think you want or, what you voted on. Yeah, man. And believe me, his food is amazing. It tastes really, really, really good. Yeah, man. Wizards in the kitchen. Yeah. So, do you have any other questions? Oh, what was I supposed to? Somebody asked me a question last time. Knife skills. So I'll do a knife skills video at the start of our next cooking session. Just basically to show you, safety with the knife, how to hold it, so on and so forth. And, so you can get your cutting on like a chef. And yeah, I think that's it. Alright, guys. Really want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What's that?
Oh, you made the ketchup.
So the ketchup, who is that?
Larisha.
Oh, hi. So ketchup is basically tomato, tomato juice, and you season it. So it depends on how you want it. Like if you have a food processor, you can process the tomatoes and then add in some seasoning. Add in like onion powder, garlic powder, some salt, some sugar, and some vinegar. Those are the essential ingredients in ketchup.
Mustard powder, no?
Right. So
cook it down.
One ingredient that brings your ketchup up another level is not mustard powder, but it's celery powder. Because people put like celery in them ketchup, and celery is a very strong spice. It had a very strong flavor, so you don't want to add too much. Yeah, man, once you add some celery powder to that, another level again. The ketchup gone way up, Yeah, man. So again, as I said, as we said at the beginning, we will be. Oh, and you need a thickener. because you just it just gonna be a ketchup like a ketchup juice. Right? So you need a thickener. So we use arrowroot powder, and it come down to the same thing again. When we just started out, we were using cornstarch because it's accessible, it's everywhere. And then to do a little bit of research, one of our friends said it to us at the time, like, do you know what's in cornstarch? Checked it out. I mean, the ingredients are listed on the box, but it's checking out what the ingredients do. And of course, they're a carcinogen. That's a word we see so often, right? So we did shit and we use arrowroot powder, which is just root. It's just a root, like any. So plants store starch in their root, and starch is a thickener, like cornstarch, right? And so you're welcome, Larisha. And so what we did is, we started using arrowroot again, it's just the root of a plant, and I just pulverize it into powder, and that's an excellent thickener. So you just want to thicken it.
Similar to cassava.
Right. So any of them thing, like, cause even anything we boil, well, some potato or whatever the case is, once it's starchy, you can use the water to thicken things, soups, whatever, so on. Anything that contains starch, it's a thickener. Yeah, man. So again, just want to say, just be aware. Don't say be careful, really, or worry. Don't trigger worry. They say be careful. People start to wonder what there is to worry about. There's nothing to worry about. Just you need to lift your awareness, and also you are protected. There's nothing that can harm you. So just be vigilant. Be use your inner powers, do your research. And
be curious.
Right, just be curious. So let's say we take up a label, we look on it. We like to say maybe one thing is an ideal amount of things what our stuff should contain.
Under 5 is
right,
good.
Under 5 is good. But if we say honestly, if we say 10, we are put it down. We not buy it. If 10 ingredients upon it, we're not buying it. Would you use aquafaba as a thickener? Aquafaba is more a binder, not a thickener. It's not really going to thicken it. It's just going to bind it. And for those who don't know, aquafaba is the water from beans. So any bean we cook, and the water off of it is aquafaba. And there is a way to activate it, which is blending it. So once you cook the bean in the water, put the water in a blender, blend it until it have like an egg-like consistency. You can use that make all pastries. It's like egg. So you can make people make what I think the name with it I don't remember the name. It's this famous pastry. Not macaroons. People make macaroons with that. So you can bake with that once you finish with it. But we use it like for buying stuff. Instead of making flax egg, which is another kind of egg replacement, I don't like the aftertaste of the flax egg, so I use aquafaba. Aquafaba is amazing. It binds your stuff. Like if you make meatless balls or whatever the case is, put some aquafaba in there, it not gonna break up. It will not break up. I mean, you bite it on so it will break, right? But it won't break up when you fry it or bake it or whatever the case may be. So aquafaba is an excellent binder, but not a thickener. And the best bean to use for aquafaba is chickpeas. And chickpeas is very versatile. Ask my wife. I've fallen in love with chickpeas recently. I used to think them boring. They're not boring. They're very nice. Yep. All right. So we love you. And the video will be uploaded soon. And of course, we'll include ingredient amounts. Just look out for the link to our YouTube channel, and you'll see that upload. And happy cooking and stuff. And of course, you can make a veg salad go with it, because I'm going to make a veg salad. I like to eat salad, so I'm going to have a salad with it, not just not just the stuff itself. I mean, it's all vegetables, but there's some raw stuff on your plate too. Yeah. All right, so we are left now.
If there are no more questions.
Yeah, well. Okay. You're welcome, Charmaine. You're welcome, everybody. You all are very welcome. Thanks for coming out, and we'll be here again next week.
Next time.
Love you.
Bye.